In a speech last Sunday to mark the Muslim festival of Eid al-Fitr, the Gambian President Yahya Jammeh vowed to execute all the inmates on death row by the end of the month. To show how serious he was, on Thursday, he executed 9 inmates, including a woman. Amnesty International reported that those who were executed were political prisoners who received unfair trials and were sentenced to death for treason. International human rights organizations have criticized President Jammeh for his human rights records and disregard for press freedom. Last year, after winning a 4th term in office, following a flawed election, he told the BBC that his critics could go to hell because he only feared Allah. It is 14:30 GMT in London, 2:30 p.m. in Nigeria, 9:30 a.m. in New York. Wherever in the world you may be, today is Saturday, August 25th, 2012. Welcome to Sahara TV. My name is Njeri Mbure. While the remaining 38 death row inmates in the Gambia face imminent death, 2 journalists in Egypt got a relief from President Morsi this Thursday, facing intense pressure for the arrest of journalist Islam Afifi and Tawfiq Ukasha. The newly elected president of Egypt signed a law banning the pre-trial detention of the journalists. The 2 journalists were both arrested and charged with insulting President Mohamed Morsi in an August 11 editorial of the Al Dustur newspaper, copies of which were seized. The paper warned that the president's brotherhood was taking over Egypt and asked Egyptians to join the military in a fight against Islamization. Despite the reversal of the detention order, the opposition is still planning a march to the presidential palace to demand the resignation of President Morsi for trying to suppress rival viewpoints. Meanwhile, in Abuja, Nigeria, negotiations are going on with the Islamic group occupying northern Mali. President Goodluck Jonathan of Nigeria warned on Wednesday that if the negotiations fail, force will be used to intervene in the crises that have engulfed the West African country since the March 22nd coup. A 3,300-strong economic community of West African states ECOWAS force is ready to enter Mali to eject the jihadists and restore the territorial integrity of the country. It is ironic to hear President Jonathan talking about using force in Mali against an Islamic group, when in the northern part of Nigeria, a similar situation exists. This week, the Nigerian government insinuated that dialogue was again going on between them and Boko Haram group. That report was swiftly rejected by the Boko Haram group. In an email to the Premium Times, Boko Haram said that it has foreclosed any possibility of dialogue and called those making contrary claims as imposters. The group restated its demand for a full implementation of the Sharia across Nigeria. In our hot topic today, we are going to talk with Malam Sani Shehu. Malam Shehu is the national president of the Civil Rights Congress of Nigeria. He helped to facilitate a meeting between Boko Haram group and former President Olusegun Obasanjo. We will find out from him if the window for dialogue is closing and what conditions the Boko Haram group demand in exchange for a ceasefire. In our roundtable, we will take up the discussion on Boko Haram and the possibility of a dialogue as a way to end the violence. We will also talk about the persistent oil spills in the Niger Delta region. Our guests will be Professor Moses Okunu, Professor Joseph Onyencha, and Mrs. Kwangu Liwewe. Professor Okunu is an associate professor of African history at the Vanderbilt University. Professor Onyencha teaches accounting at South Carolina State University, and Ms. Kwangu Liwewe is the West African Bureau Chief of E-News Channel Africa. She is covering the Niger Delta for the E-News channel. As usual, we will take your Skype calls on this and other issues concerning Nigeria and Africa. In light of the recent killings of a general's daughter by the people she met on Facebook, our question of the day is, have you been baited or scammed on Facebook? Join us when we take your calls on this and other topics. We will also read some of your Facebook comments on this question. In our highlight segment, we are going to discuss the oil insecurity in the Niger Delta region. We will talk to Ben Amunwa, and Drew Hinshaw on the role of armed forces in Nigeria and their relationship to oil. Mr. Amuno is a researcher with the Oil Industry Watchdog platform who released a report exposing the excessive spending by Shell Oil on the GTF forces in the Niger Delta. Drew Hinshaw is the West Africa reporter for the Wall Street Journal who has written a report on Nigeria's oil bandits. They will help us understand why it is difficult for African countries to hold on and gas industry corporations accountable for their actions, as well as the role of rogue armed forces in Nigeria. In our country focus, we will look at Ethiopia after the death of Prime Minister Meles Zenawi. We will chat with Mohamed Ademo, an Ethiopian journalist and blogger who wrote a recent article that articulated the choices facing Ethiopians. He will help us understand the split legacy of Zenawi and the changes taking place following his death. We will find out what may change in the Horn of Africa as a result of Zenawi's exit. On our Inspire segment, we are going to talk to the musician Labaja. We will find out why he wears masks when he performs, and he will also explain to us the people he calls Mumu in his latest single. As expected, we will bring to you our regulars, Keeping It Real with Adiola and Dr. Damage's show. You don't want to miss this week's Keeping It. If you think oil money is doing wonders in Nigeria, find out what it's doing in other oil-producing countries. Also, watch Adiola dance as she remembers how easy things are in Nigeria. Dr. Damages explains why President Jonathan is mad with the Nigerian media and what drastic step he plans to take. He also reveals for the first time the very secret of getting out of poverty. You don't want to miss our regulars. Stay with us for more fun and information. Follow us on Twitter at SaharaTV1 with the hashtag SaharaTV. And we are also on Facebook at SaharaTV. We will be right back. We leave you now with a video of the late Prime Minister of Ethiopia's body coming back to Ethiopia from Brussels.